In Chapter 1, Isla Crown struggles with the physical toll of using her Star Stick, a mysterious device allowing her to portal across realms. Despite the disarray caused by her travels, Isla is focused on the upcoming Centennial, a dangerous event that could save her people from their curse. Her guardians, Poppy and Terra, prepare her for the event, and Isla is reminded of her role as the Wildling realm's only hope. The Wildlings are cursed to kill anyone they love and live off human hearts, a curse that has devastated their population. As Isla dons her crown and faces the cheering crowd, she vows to break the curse and prove her worth. She steps into a portal, leaving her realm behind, with a promise to her guardians that she will follow their orders, despite her inner conflict and fear of failure. The future of her people rests on her success. In Chapter 2, the island, Isla arrives on Lightlark, where she encounters the rulers of other realms including Grimshaw, the Nightshade ruler, Azul, the Skyling ruler, and Celeste, the Starling ruler. Grimshaw, who seems both flirtatious and mysterious, makes Isla uneasy, while Azul admires her Wildling jewelry. Isla is reminded of the long-standing tensions between realms, particularly with the Nightshades, who are suspected of creating the curses. As the rulers interact, Isla is introduced to her quarters in the palace, which are grand but isolated. She feels a strange connection to the island's power, which calls to her. Celeste, who shares Isla's goal of breaking the curses, warns her to hide the Star Stick, a powerful relic Isla brought with her. The two rulers' secret alliance is crucial for their success, as both face the urgency of saving their people from extinction. The Centennial has begun, and the stakes are high. In Chapter 3, Blood, Isla, still reeling from her near-death experience after falling into the sea, faces the pressures of the Centennial. After singing on her balcony, she loses her footing and falls into the ocean, but is mysteriously saved by an unknown figure. When she regains consciousness, she finds herself back on the balcony, wet and disoriented. Despite this close call, she proceeds to the first dinner of the Centennial, where her entrance is met with stares. Isla, in a revealing dress, struggles with the scrutiny of the other rulers, particularly Oro, the Sunling king, who dismisses her with condescension. During the dinner, she is forced to eat a bleeding heart, symbolizing her realm's brutal curse, and faces further insults. Grimshaw, the Nightshade ruler, intervenes, showing some support, but Isla spends the night sickened. Her resolve to fulfill her duty and break her curse grows stronger, despite the personal dangers. In Chapter 4, Rules, Isla reflects on her secret curse, being born without wildling power due to her mother's failed love, and how this curse makes her a powerless ruler, which jeopardizes her realm's survival. At the Centennial, the rulers gather to establish the game's rules. The first rule prevents assassinations until after the 50th day, ensuring some safety for Isla. The second mandates all rulers must participate in every event, and the third forbids having heirs, meaning a ruler's death would wipe out their realm. After agreeing to these rules, the rulers perform a blood oath to bind themselves to the Centennial's terms. Isla, using her crown, cuts her palm, and her blood blooms a rose, symbolizing her wildling nature. Each ruler's blood shows their power. Cleo's ice, Grimm's ink, Azul's separation, Celeste's sparks, and Oro's bright burn. Isla realizes Oro's plan might involve her survival, at least for now, though the stakes remain high. In Chapter 5, Grimm, Isla prepares for the Centennial by using her beauty to disguise her powerlessness, learning how to blend in and strategize. Her morning is spent speaking with her attendant Ella, who reveals the hardships of the Starling curse. Isla secretly gives Ella a healing elixir and makes plans to explore the island, seeking new clothes for the upcoming events. She is interrupted by Grimm, the Nightshade ruler, who accompanies her to the market. Though rumors about Nightshade's abilities make Isla wary, Grimm's presence intrigues her. They visit a tailor, where Isla is dressed in a stunning new gown and orders combat-ready clothing, following Terra's instructions. Grimm's unpredictable behavior, helping her but with ulterior motives, leaves Isla wondering what his true intentions are. As Grimm disappears, Isla is left contemplating why the Nightshade ruler would help her and how she might use him to her advantage in the Centennial. In Chapter 6, Bondbreaker Isla, determined to find a way to break her realm's curse, prepares for the Centennial trials, suspecting Grimm's dual hint might be part of a strategy to mislead her. Celeste warns her about Grimm, advising Isla to stay away from him, but Isla remains curious about his intentions. They focus on a different plan to break the curse, finding the Bondbreaker, an enchanted relic capable of breaking the curses but at a dangerous cost. Isla and Celeste plan to search the libraries of the Lightlark Isles for it. Celeste will start on Star Isle, while Isla prepares to explore other libraries. Isla, needing to blend in, uses Wildling elixirs to change her appearance. She sneaks out to gather the necessary clothing from the tailor shop, but discovers the lack of gold fabric, raising suspicions. With her stolen silk, she returns to the castle, one step closer to her goal. In Chapter 7, Duel, Isla prepares for the first Centennial demonstration, which turns out to be a duel. With the help of Grimm's earlier advice, she is ready, having chosen a new sword and armor. The arena is filled with spectators, and the rulers face off. The first duel, between Oro and Azul, ends swiftly with Oro's victory. Next, Celeste duels Cleo, and although Celeste loses, it's part of their strategy to avoid standing out. Isla and Grimm are paired for the next duel, surprising Isla as she realizes Grimm may have orchestrated it to show his superiority. During their fight, Isla uses her training to hold her own, surprising Grimm with her skill. Though she's pushed to her limits, Isla ultimately lets Oro win, ensuring she doesn't draw too much attention to herself. The crowd cheers for Oro, but Isla knows he saw through her act, making her retreat under his merciless gaze. In Chapter 8, Celeste, Isla, and Celeste discuss the challenges they face in the Centennial. Isla apologizes for her actions, particularly in the duel with Grimm, and Celeste warns her to be more strategic and avoid making enemies. They focus on their plan to break their curses by finding the Bondbreaker, a relic that can undo the curses but at a deadly cost. Celeste will search Star Isle's library while Isla searches others. If the Bondbreaker isn't found, they plan to use enchanted gloves to access restricted libraries on other isles. Celeste reveals that strange occurrences are happening on Sun Isle and Moon Isle, with Sunlings becoming more isolated and Moonlings increasing security. Despite these obstacles, Isla remains determined to continue the mission, vowing to find a way into Moon Isle's library despite the guards. Celeste's support is unwavering, and their bond strengthens as they face the difficult path ahead. In Chapter 9, Crown, Isla navigates a tense group dinner with the rulers and nobles of Lightlark, feeling the weight of their scrutiny as she is forced to participate in a demonstration of power. She's nervous knowing she has no abilities to display, unlike the other rulers. Grimm makes his presence known, adding to the tension. During the demonstration, Grimm showcases his formidable mind abilities while Cleo and Celeste impress with their powers. When Isla's turn arrives, she takes a bold step, using a throwing star hidden in her hair to knock Oro's crown from his head, demonstrating her skill without any magic. This earns her a moment of victory, though Oro's demonstration of turning stone into gold steals the show. Despite Oro winning the demonstration, Isla's boldness earns her some respect, and she realizes her actions have made her a formidable presence in the room, even without powers. In Chapter 10, Juniper, Isla spends nights observing the Agora, gathering information for her plan. She learns about the barkeep Juniper, who deals in secrets, and decides to approach him. Isla offers him gems and coin in exchange for information on how to access the Moon Isle library. Juniper demands a secret in return, and Isla reluctantly reveals that she allowed Oro to win the first demonstration. In exchange, he tells her that the Moon Isle guards disappear during the full moon, allowing her to enter. She also learns that the next full moon is in a week, aligning with her plan. Before she leaves, Juniper hints that he knows about the missing clothing from the tailor, making Isla nervous but keeping her emotions in check. She leaves with the critical information, knowing she can't fully trust Juniper but needing his help to succeed. In Chapter 11, Fear, Isla prepares for Celeste's demonstration, a test of fear, where participants face their greatest fears in a magical mirror. Celeste begins her demonstration, revealing the ancient Starling relic, and the rulers take turns. Oro conquers his fear in 3 minutes, Azul takes 5, and Cleo impressively beats the king's time. Isla, feeling immense pressure, is nervous about her own turn, fearing failure and what it might imply about her abilities. When her turn arrives, Isla places her hand on the mirror, and it pulls her through, starting her own terrifying trial. The demonstration is a crucial moment for Isla, as her performance could influence how the other rulers perceive her and impact her plans. Meanwhile, the Bondbreaker remains a priority for Isla and Celeste, though Isla is growing more anxious with every trial and challenge she faces. In Chapter 12, Shattered, Isla faces her greatest fear in a magical mirror during Celeste's demonstration. She is trapped in a vision of her future, a life of powerlessness, locked away in her room while her realm deteriorates. As the room shrinks around her, symbolizing her potential fate, Isla refuses to accept it. She breaks free from the glass with a sword she finds, symbolizing her determination to fight for a better future. The trial lasts 6 minutes, and though Cleo wins, Isla is shaken by the experience. Afterwards, Celeste reveals that the gloves she obtained from the dark market will allow Isla to access the protected sections of the Lightlark libraries. These gloves absorb the essence of all the rulers, enabling Isla to find the Bondbreaker and continue her quest to break the curses. Now, with the gloves, Isla has what she needs to proceed with her mission. In Chapter 13, Tower, Isla prepares to infiltrate Sky Isle to search for the Bondbreaker. She uses Wildling ingredients to make an enchanted hair dye, which transforms her hair to match Skyling colors for disguise. Celeste supports her, reminding Isla of her skills in blending in. Isla travels to Sky Isle's floating city, crossing a treacherous bridge to reach the castle, which is open and welcoming. She finds the library, but is disappointed when no protected sections or relics are visible. Using the enchanted gloves, she uncovers a hidden area but discovers that the Bondbreaker is not there. While leaving the castle, Isla is nearly caught by Cleo, but Grimm intervenes, using his abilities to help her escape unnoticed. Despite the close call, Isla resolves to focus on her mission and her goal of breaking the curses. In Chapter 14, Azul, Isla receives her invitation for her next demonstration. After an unsettling encounter with Grimm, she seeks him out to express her gratitude for his help. She's also concerned about his role in her plan. While searching for him in the marketplace, she unexpectedly meets Azul. They engage in a conversation where Azul shares insights into the Centennial's history and his own challenges. He reveals his realm's unique political system and personal frustrations. They visit a mountain range, and Azul plays a natural instrument, momentarily easing Isla's tension. Afterward, Isla goes to Grimm's room to thank him for his earlier help. She offers a cryptic explanation about her upcoming demonstration, and reveals she'll need something from him. She leaves, unsure if her decision to confide in Grimm was a mistake, as his serious response hints at deeper consequences. In Chapter 15, Elixir, Isla presents her demonstration to the rulers, aiming to showcase the healing abilities of Wildlings to counter the bloodthirsty image they've been given. She plans to highlight that Wildlings can heal as effectively as they kill. After showcasing several demonstrations, including Azul's air communication and Cleo's fleet of ships, Isla finally steps forward. With the help of Oro, she demonstrates a healing remedy developed by Wildlings by immersing her arm in flames, causing it to burn severely before using the remedy to heal it completely. The demonstration leaves the crowd in awe, especially since Moonlings are known for their healing powers, and Isla's demonstration shows that Wildlings can do the same. Despite her impressive display, Azul wins the demonstration, though Isla's healing feat shifts perceptions about her realm's capabilities. The chapter ends with Isla realizing the importance of her demonstration and the tension between the realms. In Chapter 16, Shadows, Isla is recovering from her painful demonstration and is unexpectedly confronted by Grimm. He appears in her room, offering his assistance in removing her dress, which leads to a tense interaction. Isla is angry with him for making a mockery of her demonstration, but is confused by his lack of interest in winning the Centennial. Grimm reveals that he didn't come to the Centennial for personal gain or alliances. He shares the history of Nightshade's involvement in Lightlark's creation, telling Isla that Nightshade was one of its founding powers, along with Sunlings. Grimm admits he was sent to Lightlark as a reminder after a peace treaty, and reveals that he didn't cast the curses. Isla, still suspicious, wonders if Grimm is there to ensure the curses aren't broken. Their conversation remains charged with unspoken truths and emotional tension, leaving Isla questioning Grimm's true motives. In Chapter 17, Frozen, Isla endures a harsh trial set by Cleo, which tests the ruler's ability to deny their desires. Isla's arm, still healing from her demonstration, is further tormented by the freezing cold water in the maze, causing immense pain. Despite her physical struggle, she pushes through, determined to prove her worth. She reflects on her past, her guardian's lessons, and the weight of her desires for freedom and power. As she fights through the maze, Isla's internal battle intensifies, with her longing for more than just saving her realm. She reaches the end of the maze just as her strength is about to fail. Ella helps her back to her room, where Isla vows to find the Bondbreaker and break the curses, even if it means sacrificing herself. The chapter ends with Isla fully acknowledging her desires and the cost she's willing to pay. In Chapter 18, Castle, Isla struggles with the aftermath of her painful demonstration and prepares to sneak onto Moon Isle during the full moon. Despite her worsening condition, she refuses Celeste's offer to help, determined to find the Bondbreaker. Guided by information from Juniper, she sneaks onto Moon Isle, where the Moonling curse leaves the island deserted. She faces dangerous physical challenges, climbing a treacherous cliff to enter the palace undetected. Inside, she navigates the eerie, quiet castle, moving stealthily toward the library where the Bondbreaker is said to be hidden. As Isla approaches, she overhears guards talking about a legion and Cleo's plans to build an army. Her presence is soon detected, and the chapter ends with Isla hiding from approaching guards, realizing that Cleo may be preparing for something far more dangerous than anticipated. In Chapter 19, underwater, Isla fights off guards in Moon Isle using the techniques taught by Terra, then proceeds to sneak into the castle in search of the Bondbreaker. Her body is weak from injuries, but she continues, driven by her mission. After evading more guards, she finds a hidden door leading to the library, where all books are trapped in ice. Isla searches desperately but finds only relics encased in water, with no sign of the Bondbreaker. Exhausted and injured, she collapses, realizing she's cornered with no escape. The guards outside prepare to capture her, but Isla, refusing to give up, uses her starstick to portal back to the mainland castle, choosing not to leave through the way she entered. In Chapter 20, Isla recovers from her injuries, but the Bondbreaker remains elusive, leading her to Sun Isle. She sneaks into the castle, fearing Cleo has figured out her involvement in the library incident. At a tense tea gathering hosted by Oro, the rulers face off in a demonstration of their secrets, revealed through truth tea. Each ruler's secret is displayed in the tea leaves, and Isla's deepest secret, I have no power, is exposed. She, along with Celeste, Azul, and Grimm, breaks their cups to prevent their secrets from being fully revealed. In a final showdown between Oro and Cleo, Cleo chooses not to reveal her secret, and Oro declares his, I am dying. This revelation changes the dynamic of the Centennial, with Oro now poised to make critical decisions that will shape the upcoming trials and alliances. In Chapter 21, Paired Isla learns that Oro's life is linked to Lightlark's survival, and his declining health may mean the island's impending collapse. As the rulers discuss Oro's dying condition, the urgency to find the Bondbreaker intensifies. Celeste assures Isla they must act quickly, and Isla feels the pressure of their dwindling timeline. At the pairing ceremony, Oro reveals that the island's weakening is due to the curses, and that this Centennial may be their last chance to break them. The king then reveals the oracle's riddle, emphasizing the importance of teamwork to fulfill the prophecy. When Isla is unexpectedly chosen as Oro's partner, she is horrified, as this complicates her secret plans to infiltrate Sun Isle and find the Bondbreaker. With her identity potentially exposed, Isla must navigate her new, dangerous partnership with Oro while still trying to achieve her goal. In Chapter 22, Deal, Isla is forced into an uncomfortable deal with Oro, who reveals that his theory on breaking the curses requires her knowledge of nature. Oro proposes an alliance, offering protection in exchange for her help, though Isla is skeptical. She insists on choosing one other realm to keep safe, a condition Oro reluctantly accepts. As they discuss, Isla struggles with the idea of working with him, especially given his disgust towards Wildlings. The tension escalates when Oro insists on accompanying Isla immediately, prompting her to prepare under duress. He also demands she cloaks her powers during their excursions, fearing ancient creatures that could sense Wildling abilities. Isla, relieved at the suggestion of hiding her powers, agrees, but remains wary of what she's getting into. With a strained acceptance, Isla and Oro's partnership begins, marking a new chapter in her quest for the Bondbreaker. In Chapter 23, Storm, Oro, and Isla venture out into the darkness, with Oro leading her toward the coast. Isla, struggling to match his pace, questions his intentions but is met with his silence and disdain. As they approach a frozen storm, a manifestation of Lightlark's curse, Isla is captivated by its power. Oro insists on crossing a dangerous bridge, and after some tension, he forces Isla to follow him, even though she is afraid of heights. They finally reach the storm's center, where Oro reveals his need for Isla's knowledge of nature to help find Lightlark's heart, the island's power source. As they explore a garden hidden within a mountain, Isla identifies plants that could harbor the heart. Oro presses her for trust and reveals he's seeking the heart to save the island. The chapter ends with Isla being carried back to the mainland, exhausted and irritated by Oro's actions. In chapter 24, Seeking, Isla confides in Celeste about Oro's search for the heart, a key to breaking the curses and the prophecy. Celeste warns her to be cautious, especially with the king. The next night, Oro leads Isla to Sky Isle, where they search a valley of purse plants which Isla believes could hide the heart. Oro's plan involves using Isla's knowledge of nature, but the two struggle to find the heart amidst thousands of plants. Isla works tirelessly despite her exhaustion, using a method to mark plants she's searched. Meanwhile, Oro remains tight-lipped about his search for the heart's location. After several days of fruitless searching, Isla asks where the next location is. Despite their growing frustration and physical toll, Isla continues to push forward, realizing that Oro is her only chance to access the Sun Isle Library and the Bondbreaker. In Chapter 25, Second Place, Isla wakes from a dream about Grimm and struggles to focus on her plan. She seeks out Ella to make a Wildling sleeping elixir to help her rest. While wandering the castle, she overhears a heated conversation between Oro and Azul, where Oro expresses anger about a plan that could lead to thousands of deaths. Oro dismisses Azul as harmless, but Isla remains concerned. That night, Isla and Oro travel to a forest near the mainland castle to search for the heart. Oro is weary from lack of sleep and avoids flying despite the terrain. They discuss Azul's loss of his husband and the rarity of cross-realm marriages. When Isla suggests Wild Isle might hold the heart, Oro reveals that the island's nature is dead. They continue their search through coffiner trees, and Oro hints that Isla's abilities would make things easier, but risks involving dangerous creatures prevent her from using them. In Chapter 26, Thorns, Isla reflects on Grimm's sudden distance, suspecting she was just part of his plan. While searching in the Coffiner Forest, she presses Oro for answers, learning that Azul's desire to kill a ruler for the prophecy isn't easy. Choosing the right realm to sacrifice is the real challenge. Oro hints at a greater danger tied to Grimm, and after hours of searching trees, Isla stumbles upon a wall of thorny plants. She's ensnared, and Oro uses his Starling powers to break the thorns, but the plant retaliates, digging deeper into her skin. Despite the agony, Isla insists on removing the thorns herself. Afterward, Oro offers her peace, helping close her wounds. They realize the heart isn't in this forest either. Oro hints at a new plan. Meeting one of the ancient creatures he's warned her about, marking the beginning of a new, dangerous phase in their search. In Chapter 27, The Harbor, Isla has not heard from Oro in 5 days, and after recovering from her injuries, she worries he might have moved on without her. She arranges to meet Celeste in the Agora, but a mysterious note warning her of danger disrupts her plans. She follows the trail of a Moonling noble, eventually being trapped in a harbor by water-bound chains and a sword to her throat. The Moonling nobles attempt to intimidate her, but Isla refuses to beg for her life. Just as they are about to kill her, Celeste intervenes, breaking the chains and aiding Isla in fighting back. Using her throwing knives, Isla kills 2 of the nobles, but a third nearly succeeds in strangling her. Isla ultimately kills him with a shard of glass. Together, Isla and Celeste leave a message written in blood to warn Cleo, try harder. Isla vows never to be powerless again. In Chapter 28, Place of Mirrors, Isla grapples with her growing desire for power after the painful barbs and near-death experience at the harbor. She practices with a new dagger, channeling her anger, but is confronted by Grimm. Their tense exchange reveals his avoidance of her and his suggestion that they should stay away from each other. Despite her frustration, Isla asks him about a greater danger Oro mentioned, but Grimm remains cryptic, suggesting that the curses are the more pressing issue. Grimm leads Isla to Wild Isle, showing her the Place of Mirrors, a once thriving Wildling palace now in ruins. Inside, Isla finds a hidden spiral door with no immediate way to open it. She searches the palace for a key, trying various objects, but nothing works. As dawn breaks, Isla is left with the door still closed, realizing the significance of what might lie behind it. In Chapter 29, The Abbey, Isla seeks answers about the Wildling Vault and Place of Mirrors. She visits Juniper, who reveals that the Place of Mirrors is the only place on the island where Wildling abilities work, hinting that something important is hidden inside. After learning this, Isla is frustrated, but determined to unlock the secrets of the vault. While in the marketplace, Grim reappears, claiming he can sense her emotions. He follows her, offering to make Juniper forget their conversation or intimidate him into silence. Isla, still conflicted about Grim, reluctantly agrees to follow him to the Abbey for shelter from the rain. Inside, Grim demonstrates his dark powers, showing Isla the destructive force he controls. As the storm rages, their proximity grows intense, and Isla is torn between fear and intrigue. Grim reveals his struggles with being seen as a monster, and despite their tension, Isla is drawn to him, unsure of where their connection will lead. In Chapter 30, Spectre, the king, finally approaches Isla after an 8-day absence, explaining it took time to find and make a deal with an ancient creature. They travel to Star Isle, where Isla learns the Place of Mirrors is the only place where Wildling powers function. Inside, they summon a Spectre, an ancient creature that requires Isla's body for a brief moment in exchange for assistance. Isla demands to be taken to the Sun Isle Library in return. Oro reluctantly agrees, but after they reach the bridge to Sun Isle, he changes his mind, demanding they first find the heart. Isla, frustrated and desperate, confronts him, expressing her anger and declaring their deal null. She storms off, threatening to find the library alone. Oro does not stop her, signaling that she may now pursue her goal without him, though the tension between them remains high. In Chapter 31, Fire Isla, frustrated by her failed interactions with Oro, decides to take matters into her own hands and enters Sun Isle's library. The guards, unexpectedly, are expecting her and give her full access to the library. She suspects it's a trick, but uses the opportunity to search for the Bondbreaker, hoping it's hidden within the library's vast collection of magical relics. She quickly discovers a secret room behind a hearth, but after a thorough search, finds no sign of the Bondbreaker. Despite finding a variety of enchanted objects, none match the description of the Bondbreaker. Isla's devastated. Her plan to break the curses and escape the island before the ball is now in jeopardy. The Bondbreaker might not even exist, or it could have been lost or destroyed centuries ago. Her hope fades as the ball approaches, and the curse remains unbroken. In Chapter 32, next, Isla struggles with the failure of their search for the Bondbreaker. Celeste suggests there must be another library, but Isla insists that the search is over. Time is running out, and the 50th day is nearly here. She worries about Cleo's intent to kill her after the ball, and is unsure if Cleo is the only one plotting against her. Despite Celeste's insistence on continuing, Isla decides a new plan is needed. Isla approaches Oro in the mainland castle, where he is staring at the moon. She thanks him for allowing her access to the library, though he reminds her she didn't technically need his permission. When asked if she found what she was looking for, Isla admits she didn't. Oro confirms he hasn't found the heart either, and Isla, relieved, asks what their next move will be, hoping Oro will honor their deal and protect her after the ball. In Chapter 33, the ball, the Betwixt Ball, marks a turning point in the Centennial, as it is the night killing is permitted. Isla wears a protective but revealing outfit designed by her guardians, concealing weapons and chainmail beneath her gown. Though she knows the night could end with her death, she trusts Oro will keep his promise to help her find the next ancient creature. During the ball, Isla navigates through dances with nobles while keeping an eye on her enemies, including Cleo, Azul, and Oro. As midnight approaches, chaos erupts. The ballroom collapses, killing many, including several nobles. Celeste and Isla attempt to help, but Isla's attempts to reach Oro, who is seemingly paralyzed by pain, are met with resistance. She forces him to rise, and he unleashes his power to stop the destruction. As the night ends in devastation, Isla realizes the Centennial's curse is far worse than expected, and survival is uncertain. In Chapter 34, Oro, the aftermath of the ball, leaves Lightlark fractured, with the islanders in fear after the tragedy. Cleo abandons alliances, and tensions rise among the rulers. Isla, on the 53rd day of the Centennial, continues searching for the heart, questioning Oro about its origins. Their conversation is interrupted when Isla is captured by an ancient creature, a winged man, and trapped in a dark maze. Oro steps in to save her, using his power to prevent a fatal blow. The winged creature demands the Wildling, Isla, as a price for his help in finding the heart, which he says blooms where light meets darkness. After a tense negotiation, Isla and Oro leave, but Oro is gravely wounded. Isla helps him to a stream to heal him, but the sun's rising poses a new danger, threatening to burn Oro alive due to his Sunling curse. She races to find shelter before it's too late. In Chapter 35, The Cave, Isla and Oro find themselves in a secluded cave after escaping Oro's near-fatal injury. As Oro heals, they discuss the search for the heart of Lightlark. Oro explains that the heart was created with power from both Nightshades and Sunlings, and it could break the curses if wielded correctly. They have 8 potential locations to check, with Sun Isle and Moon Isle being the last ones. Isla questions Oro about his beliefs regarding the prophecy, the heart, and the curse. Oro admits to having been searching for the heart to fulfill part of the prophecy, and it was the catalyst for his actions during previous Centennials. They play a game of questions, with Isla revealing some of her past while Oro confesses about his gilding ability and his family's struggles. The conversation ends with Oro offering Isla the power of the heart if she shares her secret, but she refuses, leaving their game unfinished. In Chapter 36, Oracle, Isla, and Oro continue their search for the heart of Lightlark, traveling to Moon Isle, where darkness meets light. After flying through the cold, they arrive at a forest and eventually find an ice slab containing 3 oracles trapped inside. Oro thaws the ice, and one oracle awakens, revealing that the heart is near and on Moon Isle. However, she will not disclose its exact location, claiming they must find it on their own. She warns Isla about the lies surrounding her and predicts that one of the 6 rulers will die before the Centennial ends. Isla grows anxious about her secret being revealed, but the oracle's cryptic words leave her disturbed. Oro confirms that there are 3 remaining locations on Moon Isle that could hide the heart, and they plan to search the easiest one tomorrow, racing against time before the island's destruction continues. In Chapter 37, Puddle Isla, devastated by the state of her realm, uses her star stick to glimpse Wildling. She sees her home destroyed and Terra beginning to die, marking the first steps of a Wildling death. Stricken, she realizes that breaking the curses won't save her people, who are too far gone. Determined to win the Centennial's prize, to gain the power needed to save them, Isla confronts Oro later, asking if his offer to help still stands. With tears in her eyes, she reveals her deepest secret. She was born powerless, unable to wield any magic. Oro is shocked and confused, but doesn't stop her as she leaves, now with her secret exposed. The weight of her revelation is overwhelming, and Isla knows her vulnerability has now changed everything, but the future remains uncertain. In Chapter 38, tomorrow, Isla, having revealed her secret to Oro, prepares to search Moon Isle for the heart, knowing they are close to breaking the curses. During a meeting with the other rulers, Oro reveals that they are searching for a relic infused with Nightshade power, believing it is the source of the curses. When Oro unexpectedly switches matchups, pairing Cleo with him to search Moon Isle, Isla realizes he has been using her. She feels betrayed, especially when Oro publicly exposes her lack of powers, leaving her vulnerable. Cleo moves in, sensing Isla's weakness, but before anything happens, Grim steps in, taking Isla away. The betrayal cuts deep, and Isla faces the harsh reality that Oro's promises were never meant to be kept. In Chapter 39, Promise, Isla realizes that Oro revealed her secret to the other rulers, exposing her lack of power and making her the target of their manipulation. Betrayed, she finds herself transported by Grim, who uses his flare to take her away from danger. Grim reveals that he has known all along about her secret, her inability to wield power, and assures her that he would never betray her. He explains that Nightshade powers can sense curses, and he had known from the start that she wasn't bound by them. Isla, overwhelmed with fear and shame, feels both relief and vulnerability in Grim's acceptance. He assures her that there is nothing wrong with her and promises to protect her, offering his support with the pendant she now wears. Isla finds solace in his words, believing only him in the midst of the looming threat against her. In Chapter 40, together, Isla grapples with the betrayal of Oro, who has used her to further his own goals, leaving her heartbroken and betrayed. As the island crumbles, Isla focuses on survival, with Grim offering support. They take refuge in the Place of Mirrors on Wild Isle, a place where only Wildling power can be wielded. Despite feeling powerless and trapped, Isla continues to fight for survival. She locks herself away each night, constantly on edge, but finds solace in the unwavering support of Celeste, who continues to believe in the possibility of the Bondbreaker and helps Isla through her darkest moments. Isla, torn by guilt and hopelessness, wonders if wildlings, who are near extinction, should be the ones to perish. However, Celeste convinces her of their importance, and Isla reflects on the tragic downfall of her realm and the lost potential of her people. In Chapter 41, Letter, Isla struggles with the aftermath of Oro's betrayal, feeling powerless and alone. Despite her despair, Celeste pushes her to take action, reminding her that they haven't given up yet. Celeste is still searching for the Bondbreaker, while Isla is consumed by guilt and helplessness. A spark of hope arises when Isla decides to send a letter to Juniper, seeking his help in locating the hidden library that might provide the solution. Grim, ever supportive, visits her with chocolate and jokes about her dreams, though Isla suspects he has been manipulating them with his powers. After receiving a cryptic reply from Juniper, Isla and Celeste venture to the Agora, where they find a chilling message scrawled in blood, "Hard enough." Below it, Isla discovers Juniper is dead. This loss escalates the stakes, and Isla realizes the urgency of finding the heart and breaking the curses. In Chapter 42, Cleo, Isla grapples with the aftermath of Juniper's death and her growing sense of failure. She continues to hide, but Celeste urges her to stop sulking and fight back. Together, they write a letter to Juniper, hoping he might provide a crucial lead. Grim continues to visit, and Isla's feelings toward him grow more complicated. She receives a reply from Juniper, revealing vital information about the curses, but things quickly escalate when Isla follows Cleo through the night, suspecting she may lead her to the heart. Cleo's actions suggest she is the one who spun the curses. When Isla confronts her, Cleo traps her in ice, prepared to kill her. In her final moments, Isla regrets not having powers, but she remembers Grim's promise to come for her if needed. She struggles to reach the necklace, but it seems too late. By morning, she expects to be dead. In Chapter 43, Lies, Isla is freed from the ice by a mysterious figure, later revealed to be Oro. He explains that he did not betray her but manipulated the situation to gain Cleo's trust. Oro reveals that the heart of Lightlark was not found on Moon Isle, and they still have 2 locations left to search. He admits to exposing Isla's secret to save her and Celeste, using her apparent betrayal to cast doubt on Cleo's intentions. Oro further explains that Cleo plans to kill a Starling ruler, believing them to be the weakest, and shares details of Cleo's secret legion. Despite his betrayal, Isla agrees to work with Oro, trusting that the power promised in the prophecy may still be the key to saving her people. She warns him that any further betrayal will have deadly consequences. In Chapter 44, Carmel, Isla reveals to Celeste that Cleo spun the curses but hasn't acted on it yet. Celeste insists they can still find the hidden library which might hold a solution, and suggests that Isla ask Oro for information. The islanders begin celebrating Carmel, a 24-hour carnival, but Isla has no intention of attending for long. She plans to find the heart of Lightlark with Oro. At the event, Isla notices Oro's guards trailing her and takes part in the festivities, becoming intoxicated by a powerful wine. She and Oro have a conversation in her room, where he explains his actions, including saving her life and working with Cleo to protect her. They share a rare moment of peace, and after Oro falls asleep, Ayla prepares to continue their mission. However, Ella arrives with alarming news. Starling has been attacked. In Chapter 45, Vanished, Isla rushes through the castle, determined to protect Celeste after learning that Starling's ruler was attacked. Upon reaching the gardens, Isla finds Celeste trapped in a deadly enchantment that Oro identifies as a poison, likely cast by Cleo. He explains that only Celeste's body can heal itself and the poison's effect is delayed. Isla, feeling powerless, demands to know when Celeste will wake up, but Oro is uncertain. Celeste had always been there for Isla, and now, Isla feels she's failed her friend. She asks Grim to help, and without question, he agrees to make Celeste disappear until she wakes up. Celeste's body vanishes, and Isla is left determined to protect her friend and continue the fight against the looming threats. In Chapter 46, Poison, Isla is determined to save Celeste and fight for her people. She tries to open the locked vault in the Place of Mirrors, hoping to find a Wildling remedy for Celeste's poison, but struggles and injures herself. Despite the setback, Isla vows to continue. She joins Oro on Moon Isle, where they explore an abandoned palace, hoping to find the heart. Inside, Isla faces a dangerous night creature, which attempts to control her mind, but she kills it with a hidden dagger. After Oro heals her wound, he reveals that the heart isn't in the palace, and the only remaining location is in Vinderland territory, a dangerous area inhabited by rogue wildlings. Oro offers to go alone, but Isla insists on joining him, determined to save Celeste and her realm. She prepares for the challenge, arming herself for the battle ahead. In Chapter 47, Bloom, Isla, and Oro arrive on Moon Isle, where Isla confronts Cleo's bird and prepares for the final search. They enter Vinderland territory, encountering rogue wildlings. A battle ensues, with Isla and Oro fending off the attackers. Oro uses his Starling energy to create weapons and defeat several foes. After the fight, they reach a tree of white feathers, believing the heart may be hidden within. Isla desperately searches the branches and roots, but the heart is not there. Oro confirms their fears. It isn't hidden in the tree. Isla, devastated, realizes they may have been wrong or that Cleo already claimed the heart. As her emotions overwhelm her, she recalls Celeste's warnings and breaks down, realizing that their quest may have ended in failure. In Chapter 48, Hidden, Isla refuses to give up on finding the heart of Lightlark, despite their failures. She confronts Oro, demanding answers about the hidden library he had mentioned. Oro reveals that his ancestor, Horace Ray, and Grimm's ancestor, Cronin Malvera, helped create the island, and that Isla's ancestor, Lark Crown, was integral to its formation. This knowledge leads Isla to realize that only a Sunling, Wildling, or Nightshade can unlock the heart. Oro shows her the hidden library, and they find scarce details about the heart's power, which contains energy from all three realms and will bloom when needed most. After hours of research, Isla's hope is reignited. Later, she visits Celeste's resting place and finds a diamond ring that Celeste had tried to send her as a clue, revealing Azul's involvement in her poisoning. Isla now has a new lead. In Chapter 49, Diamond, Isla uncovers that Azul, not Cleo, poisoned Celeste, revealing Azul's manipulative nature. She recalls a conversation between Oro and Azul about ending a realm, which she now realizes was about Starling. Isla confronts Grimm about the hidden library and learns that both her and Grimm's ancestors helped create the island, with her ancestor, Lark Crown, being a key figure. The heart of Lightlark can only be unlocked by one of the original realm rulers, Sunling, Wildling, or Nightshade. As Isla and Grimm discuss these revelations, Grimm admits his deep feelings for her, confessing how she has tormented him emotionally. Their emotional tension culminates in a passionate encounter, where they share an intense kiss and explore their desires. This moment of intimacy leaves Isla feeling more connected to Grimm, despite the dangerous and uncertain world around them. In Chapter 50, Sleepless, Isla spends sleepless days in the library, consumed by thoughts of Celeste, Grimm, and the cursed heart. She is focused on finding the heart to save Celeste and Terra, while Oro watches her closely, sensing her distracted state. They discuss the heart's location, which Isla deduces might not be a place, but a time, dawn or dusk, when darkness meets light. Oro agrees with her theory, realizing they've been searching at the wrong times. They both acknowledge the heart may be hidden in places they missed. As they brainstorm, Isla remembers the bird that had followed them on Moon Isle, assuming it was Cleo's spy. She suddenly realizes the bird might have been trying to lead her to the heart, not spying. With this new insight, Isla declares, "I know where the heart is." In Chapter 51, Heart Isla, with Oro by her side, reaches the final stage of her quest to find the heart. She and Oro reflect on their journey as they prepare to search for it, and Isla realizes the heart's location. It must appear at dawn or dusk, where darkness meets light. They follow a dark blue bird to a tree where the heart, in the form of a golden yolk, emerges from an egg. Isla is overwhelmed by her success, feeling the power of the heart flow through her. However, as she grasps it, an arrow strikes her chest. The attack is from Vinderland forces, seeking revenge. Oro is unable to help due to the sun's restrictions, and Isla succumbs to her injuries. In her final moments, Grimm appears, but she is already slipping away, the heart's power vanishing with her. The chapter ends with Isla's death and her connection to the realms fading. In Chapter 52, Prophecy, Isla wakes up alive against all odds after being struck by an arrow. Grimm's healing elixir saved her, and she realizes the heart's energy kept her alive long enough to heal. She thanks Grimm before rushing to Celeste's chambers. where she learns that Azul was behind her poisoning. Isla reveals to Celeste that she found and wielded the heart. She then heads back to her room, where Oro appears, holding the heart. Isla knows her actions fulfilled the prophecy and that she is the one to break the curses. However, Oro reveals that the final step of the prophecy requires one realm to perish. Isla chooses to save Starling, but Oro insists that Nightshade must die. Torn, Isla pleads for Grimm's life, but Oro insists that Grimm's power is too dangerous. In a desperate moment, Isla threatens Oro, but ultimately walks away, refusing to kill him. In Chapter 53, Choice, Isla formulates a plan to save Grimm, Celeste, and her realm while sacrificing her own shot at power. She convinces Celeste to help her use the Bondbreaker to break their curses, even though it comes with risks. Together, they plan to use the Place of Mirrors, where Oro and Grimm's powers are nullified. As Isla executes her plan, Grimm confesses he had altered her memories to ensure Oro would fall in love with her, believing it was necessary to fulfill the prophecy. However, Celeste reveals she's not truly Celeste, but Aurora, the original ruler of Starling, who faked her death centuries ago. Aurora manipulated Isla and Grimm to gain all 6 realm powers. As Aurora threatens to kill Isla, Oro and Grimm are drained of their powers. In a final move, Isla uses her hidden relic to escape, determined to stop Aurora and change the outcome. In Chapter 54, Cursed, Isla confronts her guardian, Poppy, who admits that she and Terra killed Isla's parents to transfer their powers to her for the Centennial. Poppy and Terra had been manipulated by the Starling ruler Aurora to ensure Isla would seduce Oro and fulfill the prophecy. Isla, enraged by the betrayal, dons her armor and prepares to face Aurora. She returns to the Place of Mirrors, where she fights fiercely against Aurora's Wildling power and confronts the truth about the prophecy. Aurora reveals that Isla's true identity is tied to a blood sacrifice involving her parents, and that she holds the combined power of all 6 realms. In a heartbreaking turn, Isla uses the Bondmaker to kill Celeste, fulfilling the prophecy's final condition. As the curses break, Isla falls, but is saved by Oro, who now wields her Wildling power. The chapter ends with Isla devastated by the destruction she has caused. In Chapter 55, Broken, Isla grapples with the aftermath of the Centennial, feeling empty after losing Celeste and the betrayal by Grimm. She uses her newfound power to save the Wildling realm before retreating into isolation. As she struggles with her emotions, she learns of Cleo's actions in cutting off Moon Isle and Azul's role in trying to stop Aurora. Despite everything, Isla begins to process the loss of her relationships, particularly with Grimm, who has returned to Nightshade. She is haunted by his voice calling to her, hinting at the power he holds. When Oro approaches her on the balcony, they share an intense conversation about their past and their evolving feelings. Isla, still reeling from everything, accepts Oro's presence and their connection, but she is cautious not to repeat her past mistakes. The chapter ends with Isla and Oro in a moment of quiet, the future uncertain. In Chapter 56, Key, Isla returns to the Place of Mirrors with Oro. Her crown now returned to her. The place is in ruins, its glass shattered, a reminder of the destruction caused during the Centennial. As they approach the vault, Oro reveals how he realized his love for her while holding her crown, fearing for her life after the arrow struck. Isla, reflecting on the crown's significance as the last connection to her ancestors, uses it to unlock the vault. She inserts the crown into the lock, turns it, and opens the door. This marks a pivotal moment in Isla's journey, symbolizing her strength and connection to her past as she prepares to face whatever lies beyond the vault.